Hey everybody, it's Marlene with Rebel Retirement. Today I want to talk about 7 things that I don't waste money on anymore. And I came up with this idea about 7 things that we don't need to waste our money on anymore when David was pouring himself a glass of wine. And he said, maybe one day I'll get a wild hair up my ass and buy some more wine glasses. And I thought to myself that he was probably talking to me, probably saying, hey, maybe you should buy some more wine glasses because we have 2 wine glasses. I purchased them from the thrift store. One is in good shape and the other one has a crack in it that I don't like people using. However, I started thinking about this. Do I really want to buy more wine glasses? Because when I bought these wine glasses, they were like 50 cents a piece or something like that from the thrift store. And things have just gone up at the thrift store like they have every place else. And now they're like $1.50 to $2 a piece. And I'm thinking to myself, do I really want to pay $2 at the thrift store for wine glasses? And I'm thinking, no, probably not. We don't drink enough wine to justify that. I'm not going to go buy more wine glasses, at least not at the thrift store. So anyway, I have 7 things that we don't purchase anymore, and we haven't for a very long time. And my number one is new cars. For the last 20 years, I have been driving used cars. David has as well, and they have been reliable vehicles. I've had 3 used cars since I've been living in Montana, since we have been retired to Montana. I've had 3 reliable used cars. And I cannot say enough about going that route with the used car because we pay cash for these vehicles. We don't have a note. And some people really, they'll go out and they'll buy a luxury car and they'll have that note for 7 years. And if you are thinking about retirement or already retired, this is a real serious burden on your finances. So we just don't want to have that. Now, I do drive a 2012 GMC Yukon XL. So it is a luxury car. And the base amount on that car would be about $60,000. And that's without any of the bells and whistles. That is not something that I am willing to pay for. This truck has been working for me several years now, and I didn't have to worry about purchasing a new vehicle and having it depreciate up to 10% as soon as I drive it off the lot. Number 2 on my list is smartphones. Now, here is my smartphone, and this actually is a hand-me-down for my daughter. It's a Samsung S8, and I really, really do like it. I am considering trading it in because it doesn't have OTG on the go, which I'm thinking about that feature that I may want to use on the go for certain things when it comes to filming. And the whole thing with smartphones is I realize that they can cost upwards of $1,000 plus you're locked into a contract and you're paying high rates for service every month. Well, David and I are on with TracFone. There's no contract. So we pay about $30 a month to TracFone. And we're just very, very pleased with their service as well as their phones. Recently, David purchased a phone for them for a little bit over $300, and he is really pleased with it. He says it does everything he wants it to do. That's one area where we no longer waste our money is on expensive phones and service. Number 3 is cable. We do not pay for cable TV. We get all of our TV off of the internet. We watch movies on YouTube and other streaming sites. We get our news on YouTube and other streaming sites or on the internet. So we do not pay for cable. We do not want to pay for cable for what we consider to be suboptimal programming. Once HBO started making their own movies a long time ago, we decided that that was not something that we wanted to pay for. This would be the same for Netflix and Hulu and any kind of streaming site like that. I will say that recently we started paying for Prime because we do order a lot of things from Amazon. So we do have Amazon Prime. And so we do get movies through Amazon Prime Video, but we don't watch anything except the free ones. Most of the movies that you pay for, we're just not interested in. Number four, gym memberships. We just started the new year, and a lot of people think, well, I'm going to get a gym membership, and this is where I'm going to go, and I'm going to work out, and I'm going to get in shape this year. But the truth of the matter is that most people fail at that. They start out good, but they don't reach their goals. They don't continue going, and they wind up paying this 50 to maybe $300 a month for a gym membership that they don't use. So they have very good intentions, and I don't have any problem with that because I do think that we all need to stay in shape. And it's really important to keep that up as we get older. However, I do believe that if you search YouTube for people that have strength training, walking videos, yoga videos, anything that you can imagine on YouTube to help you with that exercise program is, in my opinion, the way to go. I do not want to pay for a membership that I'm not going to be able to go to. I like to look at any kind of subscriptions or memberships that we might have and get rid of those rather than continuing to pay for something that I don't use. Number five is eating out. We rarely ever eat out. Now, it's nice to eat out if you have somebody that you're eating out with. I don't have a problem with that. I wish there were more opportunities for us to eat out. But since we have been in Montana, the food here is lackluster. So we're less inclined to eat out than when we were living in the New Orleans area where the food is just superior and everything is really tasty. Now, I have heard from one of those financial gurus that retirees can save about $3,000 a year if they start making their food at home, if they quit eating out and they start making their food at home. And I would say, as far as it goes, when we cook our food at home, it's going to be healthier anyway. Number six is books. I hardly buy books anymore. There are times when I buy books because I do have a lot of grandchildren and I do buy books and purchase books for gifts for them. But I go to the library. I go to the library. I have had a library card for many years that I use, and I go and I check out books and I return them, and I don't have the cost of buying books. I do say that if there's a reference book that I need or something that David needs, we don't have a problem with buying a book. But generally, when it comes to books in general, just to read for entertainment, I check them out from the library and I return them. And also the library is good for checking out games, board games, and also with a library card, you can log into the website and there's an opportunity for free movies as well. Number seven is barbers and hair dye. I have been cutting David's hair over a decade with this wall, and I cut his hair every other weekend. We get up around 7 o'clock in the morning and I give him a haircut. I give him what I call a crew cut. It's very short. It looks nice. I do a good job. And this wall has helped me to do that. And we save about $20 a haircut that way. That's about $40 a month. So that's a savings there. And he just got to a point where he didn't want to go to the barber shop anymore. And he said, we can buy this wall and you can cut it for me. And it's convenient. And so that's the way we go now. This is something that we just think would be a waste of money to spend on haircuts when I can do it with this wall. The other part of this is hair dye. I quit dyeing my hair several years ago. I used to buy the box dyes and use that semi-permanent hair color. So I was dyeing my hair maybe every 6 weeks or something like that. And I think that might be maybe $15 a box, something like that. And then if you go to a salon, it's even more expensive, maybe $100 to have your hair dyed. So I decided to go au natural, and I'm very pleased with it. And I get a lot of compliments, and hey, you know, it's very empowering to have my natural hair color. So number 8 here I have is coffee. And I know we all hear about coffee. Brew your coffee at home. And I've always valued brewing my coffee at home. And I'll tell you why, because I do enjoy going out to a coffee shop now and then. Again, this is when I'm going with friends or family and enjoying their company. So I don't mind paying for a cup of coffee in that regard, but I do think my community coffee in Chicory is a better option for me because I am not a pure coffee fan like most coffee shops offer pure coffee. I do like some of these fancy dessert coffees. And when I want a fancy dessert coffee, I go online, I look up a recipe, and I make it at home. Now, I would like to invite you to check out this coffee. I have it in my Amazon store, this coffee in chicory. The chicory cuts the caffeine. It's a milder coffee. This is a medium roast blend, but the chicory cuts that caffeine. It's a smooth coffee, and you won't get that acid feeling in your belly. You're not going to have that caffeine jitteriness or that unpleasant acid feeling in your belly. So I'd like to invite you to check this out in my Amazon store. And any purchase that you make is very, very helpful to me because it does help me to continue with these videos. I really, really do appreciate it. I will leave a link in the description. Let me know in the comments what you no longer spend money on because you think it's a waste of money. If you're here looking for retirement planning topics, please check out my channel. I have hundreds of videos on those topics. I'd like for you to take a look around and also visit my website, rebelretirement.com, where you can find all sorts of articles and more outside the box retirement ideas. Take care, everybody. Thanks so much for stopping by today. I'm Marlene with Rebel Retirement, and I'll see you next time.